What's up, y'all? I'm Jonathan Stein. Welcome back to another push tutorial. Today, we're going to be talking about triad arpeggios. So let's get to it. Let's jump in and see what these look like. C major, left hand. So we're going to put our pinky on that blue C, and we're going to more or less keep that finger to a column rule that we've talked about a good amount throughout these vids. Although we're gonna have to do some cheating. So get ready to be a little naughty. So here we go. We're gonna start with just that first triad. Now you know this shape probably. These three notes right here. So this is a good place to start. And you wanna get this nice wrist wobble. I've talked about this too when you play push. You wanna see if you can drive the power from your wrist more so than from your fingers. Now we're going to introduce that cheating. So instead of playing that fifth, that G with middle finger, we're going to play with pointer. And we're going to add the middle finger on that upper C. And now the arpeggio is going to look like this. So this is a great exercise in itself. And obviously with anything on push, you should move it around freely to any key or position. Like if I just do the old plop my finger down. Cool, let's try it here. Yeah, cool. Anywhere. All right, nice. So that's the first octave of a C major arpeggio. Let's see what happens when we add a second octave to this. So we're gonna crawl up a whole another time. Here we go. We got this down. And now our ring finger is right where it needs to be. Now we go thumb, pointer. Back down, ring, middle, pointer, thumb, pinky. Watch again, both octaves. One more time. Yeah, this actually feels pretty good. There's no weird, uncomfortable stuff. This should feel pretty slick. It's a slick fingering. One more time. And by the way, a lot of these triadic arpeggios are really great to practice as triplets. So if you're at home practicing a metronome, dog, you better be practicing for a metronome. I swear to God if you aren't. Ooh. So on Ableton, you can just turn your gnome on, press this, press play, get a decent volume for it, set your tempo. Speed is no matter, it just needs to be comfortable. What if I did it here? Doesn't matter, here we go. Here's the one octave. Now I'm gonna add the second octave. And let me just reiterate one more time. It doesn't matter how fast or how slow you practice this. What you want to focus on is evenness, consistency, and focus. So if I'm all the way down here, which is actually in some ways more challenging than playing it fast because the grid is wider and you need to focus more on having metronomic time. Yeah, this is hard. This is harder than what I just did. Oof. Anyway, that's just a little side tangent on how to practice with a metronome, which I highly recommend. The metronome is a wonderful, wonderful teacher. Probably the best teacher I've ever had, actually. And that's real talk. So let's introduce the third octave since we're killing it right now. Here we go. We got this down, that down. And now we go, boom, and we're all the way up. Back down. One more time, up, end up on this pointer. Now go to middle, and then we get that thumb over here. Boom. So the pattern ends up being fairly symmetrical once you get up to the second octave. Let me show you all that one more time. Second octave, you end up on middle. Third octave, you end up on pointer. Fourth octave, you end up on pointer. Oh, don't do that, I cheated. me just show you another alternate way you could do it. I'm undecided about which is better, but both are definitely going to be great exercises for hand strength. So you go up like such. When you get to here, you can also do that. Or even, that's interesting. Though this is kind of more in that early philosophy where everything stays within the first 5 columns. That might be an interesting way to practice and move forward with. I kind of like that. Yeah. See, that's actually my favorite thing about making these videos for y'all, is I'm actually teaching myself. So that's left hand. Shall we take a look at right hand? That's what I thought. First octave, and remember all these are basically going to mirror the left side, so there won't be too many surprises here. At this time, we're going to go pinky, pointer, pointer, middle. Step 1, practice this. Make sure you got a nice wrist teeter, like a seesaw. And now second octave, pointer, pinky, ring. Oh, this one feels pretty interesting. So just practice this for a bit. I'm going to just propose to you one other way you could do this bottom octave, by the way, because we're getting into some territory where I'm not even sure what the right answer is. There's kind of just lots of ways to approach this, and all are going to offer different angles of workout and strengthening. So you could also do this bottom triad, these 3 notes, as thumb, pinky, ring. That's kind of interesting too. Ooh. I kind of like this actually. All right, we're gonna move forward with that finger. And y'all cool with that? Yeah, sick. Let's keep going. So now we're here, here, and now I would say go back to pointer and just finish it off. And there it is. It feels pretty good all together. Nice diversity of fingers being used. They all get their moment. And this would be another great one to practice with the gnome as triplets, like such. And like always, for both of these hands, feel free to do it in any of the other keys. Now, if you want to do the full 3-octave sweep like we just did, you don't have too many options. Let's see, you could do D flat. And I think that's it, actually. If you want to do another key, then you're going to run out of room fast. I mean, let's just try D, see what happens. Oh, you could do that one. Forgot about that. That's cool. Let's just take a quick look at what that is in D major. Why not? We know this, we got this down, And this is kind of like what we decided on the left hand, where you stay more vertically as opposed to moving to the right. So this would be thumb, pointer. This is an interesting little advantage to this type of fingering as opposed to covering more horizontal space, is you'll be able to transpose it into more keys. So maybe that philosophy in itself makes that just a better fingering. Damn, we are making major breakthroughs together. Love this. Let's try it in E flat. Why not, since we're exploring these other keys? Cool, I love that. Sick. So we just covered major triad arpeggios pretty much up and down the entire push. Let's take a look at minor. And guess what? We're only changing one note. These aren't going to be that much different. So back to the left hand. Let's just get the first octave down. And normally for the third we would do pointer since it's just 3 squares away, but we're going to go ahead and use thumb since we got to do some funny arpeggiated stuff. And that just puts us nicely right here. Very comfortable. It also makes the fingering uniform with the major arpeggio. So it's the same fingers, you're just shifting that thumb over 1 square. It's really nice. This feels really good. Yeah, get that nice and slick. And now let's add the second octave. Once again, very similar. Practice with a gnome, you know the drill there, y'all know my whole lecture, so I'm going to spare you this time. And third octave. Interesting, look at this little switcheroo here. Let's just take a look at that top octave. So make sure you land on this third C with pointer, and then it's going to be ring, pinky, which seems very self-evident, but then you get the ring over here and do this, which is very bizarre, but it actually feels pretty alright. There it is. Top octave. Boom. And quickly let's play with that in D flat, why not? Remember, it's the same pattern, just shift everything over to the right 1 square. That is the minor arpeggio, all the way up and down, left hand. Let's peep the right hand. We're going to start with thumb, as per usual, and same thing, we're going to go right to pinky for that minor third. And this is another one of those very standard fingerings, no tricks here, this should just feel very easy, natural. Second octave, here we go. Now this one really requires a lot of tilt because you're trying to get that thumb up pretty high. Whenever your thumb goes above your fingers, that's when you really need to approach the push from the side. Kind of like what I'm doing here, except even more, honestly. Third octave, let's keep going. Oh, this one's cool. Review the top octave. You should land on the third C with ring finger and thumb, pointer, middle. This is a weird mirroring of what happened with the left hand. It's a little different, but it's that same kind of switcheroo of these fingerings. Not ultra intuitive, but as you practice it, you start to become very thankful for it. Alright, so I don't want to move forward with this video series neglecting the other type of triad that we haven't really given much love to, and that's the diminished triad. So luckily it's very similar to what we just did. All we're going to do is lower that fifth. We're going to have a flat 5, that's it. This one, interestingly, works very well with the finger to a column rule because you're never going to have to do any of these vertical leaps. Boom, nice and easy. And your hand just gets to do this nice like seesaw teeter-totter. Let's add the second octave. Now for this one, we're going to keep that finger to a column rule, especially for the sake of exercise, although kind of what I'm discovering is the accidental theme of this lesson here is there's not 100% a right answer as you move forward with the push and explore more esoteric melodies and musical scenarios. So it's just good to have strong fundamentals so that you're comfortable with whatever is thrown at you, as it is in life. So we're going to practice the finger to column way and do it this way. Done. Feels a little weird, but this is such good practice. Once again, this requires a good amount of outwards tilt. All right, third octave, here we go. Check that out. Pretty interesting, right? Whoa, that feels interesting. I don't want to say it feels weird or bad. I don't want to scare you off, because it is great practice. I can feel myself becoming a better person even now as I'm doing this. And back down. Boom, diminished arpeggio for the left hand. Move that around to the other keys as you get comfortable with it. Quickly, we're gonna do right hand. Let's hit it. Same thing, we're gonna keep a strict finger to column rule. No surprises there. Second octave. No surprises here. Third octave. Alright, freaking weird, but once again, you kind of get this weird backhanded blessing of not having to do any fancy fingering tricks. You just need to man the f up and learn how to play it. Boom, so there you go. Those are the three main types of arpeggios. If you're wondering what to do with these triads, a good place to start would be maybe just doing 1 octave arpeggios with the right hand, like such. And then with the left hand, you can start moving around bass notes. I knew it was meant to be that I was playing that Vanessa Carlson song. So there you go. That's an introduction to arpeggios on push, starting off with just the triads. More to come as always. As you know, there's lots of other things that you could arpeggiate. Thanks so much for watching. So much love to y'all. Stay Swiss. Mwah.